Yo, people, what up? I just spoke for maybe 20, 30 minutes to realise I didn't press record. Some absolute nuggets in there as well. Absolute golden nuggets. And once I realised, I was like, fudge! And my brain tried to excuse me, like, okay, well, that's it. It didn't work and it's not meant to be. I'm like, no, we ain't playing those games anymore. So I hit record and here we are, going again. I don't know if we're going to talk about the same thing, but we're going to talk anyway. And I think there's a lesson in there. Just because it didn't work out the first time doesn't mean that it's not meant to be. It's easy to excuse ourselves from doing the things that are uncomfortable, especially if we're struggling mentally. It's easy to excuse ourselves for doing the things that are uncomfortable and then giving yourself an excuse, a justification, like, well, maybe that wasn't meant to happen. But what about if sometimes you have to, like, prove that you want it? Or what if I like the idea of God and the devil. What if the enemy is seeking to discourage us and to veer us off of our path with these little things that go wrong, these little mishaps, the little stresses in life that make us think, you know what, I can't be bothered with this, I'm not doing it. So we'll see, won't we? But what was I talking about? I was talking about recovery from psychosis. So the last video I did a few years ago, 2 years, year and a half, was about how, I might actually go back and watch that. It was about how I was experiencing psychosis and what I was doing to kind of get out of it. And initially, I think I went vegan. That helped a little bit. And some other bits and bobs. But we're on the other end of recovery now. It's been 2 years since I first had the... That's an understatement. And here we are on the other side of it. Through God's grace, number one, God's grace. This whole thing has been learning about leaning on God. Learning to lean on God and trusting God. And that might sound a little bit religious and a little bit crazy, but I'm going to break it down for you. So just, for real life situations, what does it mean to lean on God, to trust in God? Now, I don't think this is everyone's path as well. So please don't listen to this and go and do some stuff like sell your house, leave your spouse, quit your job. And don't do that yet, if at all. Just hear me out. For me, leaning on God has been about knowing that there's something I should be doing, feeling it in my gut, feeling it in this area, the heart and the gut. Feeling I should be doing something, but then overthinking it and being like, but what if? So, for me, there's been a few times, like, my mind's convinced me that I need to be successful. I've heard this before, when I was doing coaching before. You've got to be successful, you've got to be making money, you've got to be getting results, you've got to be people have got to see you as successful. And I would follow all these thoughts and these plans that I was making, and it would always go to shit. Or it would always just go, it wouldn't feel right. But then something in me was telling me, step away from coaching, step away from personal training. And I couldn't let go of it, because I'm thinking of people, well, then what am I? Who am I? What am I going to do? Then I let go. And I went into account managing, which felt like it was the right direction to go. And I'm in there, and it was the right direction to go, because it gave me a stable income, it gave me a stable job, it put me around people again, it got me socialising again. Albeit as difficult as it was, having been isolated for so long, and through COVID, and also after that, being a coach and being a bit of an introvert, a bit of a social retard I am, which I've come to accept and love. So yeah, that job got me into being around people again. I met some cool people. I've got one friend still who's a great friend. I see him regularly. Very grateful for that experience. Learned a lot about myself. Throughout that experience, though, I realised that I'm not meant to be sat down at a desk, physically inactive. I need to be moving. I need movement. I'm like a dog. I'm like, need to go, need to do something. So I learned a lot about that. That's when I had the psychosis during that. It wasn't because of that, but it was probably in addition to many other things. Anyway, and then I had a feeling to go back into valeting. I used to do valeting, car valeting, when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I think maybe just under 20, just under 21, just to get into 21. But I left that job because I was like, I don't like it. I hate cleaning cars. I'm worth more than cleaning cars, all that stuff. But something in me told me to go back. And I went back. I got into a bit of assistant managing, which was cool, interesting, especially recovering from psychosis and then having that stress as well. It taught me a lot about myself in terms of stress, in terms of how I can push myself through stress to recover. During that time, I had to put myself through stress to recover because psychosis forced me into a box of comfort, and I'm scared, bubble wrapped myself. Being in management forced me into having to deal with it. When my brain was exhausted and I was like, I'm tripping here, I had to focus on reality. Cool. Eventually gave assistant managing up because I was very invested in these lads and a fight broke out, and there was a few other things I was like, I can't do this, man. I can't, not right now. So after a few months of that, I stepped back into valeting, which is where my heart was pulling me. But I thought I could do assistant managing, you're right? Thought myself into, and more money as well. We're chasing that thing again. We're not listening to God, are we? So I got back into valeting and I loved it. I loved it. The movement, blah, blah, blah. It was great. Then my body starts falling to bits. I was getting aches and pains and I had to go onto the inside rather than the outside of a car. Wasn't working anymore. I felt I could feel this feeling building, like it's time to move away soon. It's time to move away. And I felt motivation returning to me. This was like, what we're saying, 2024 was account managing. Hit psychosis halfway through 2024. 2025, I got into valeting. Halfway through 2025, I let go of assistant managing, and then I was valeting again. Towards the end of 2025, around Christmas last year, I start feeling motivation building. Boom! I also learned through valeting that I'm able to be more physically active, because with the illnesses that I was going through, physical and mental, I didn't have much energy to do anything. Valeting all day built that energy up. So what did we take from that? Don't believe your current circumstances. Also, if you live to your what would you call it? If you live to your inabilities, your beliefs, your disbeliefs in yourself, you will never do the things needed to grow. Like, for example, if my energy is low, I had fatigue, I'm thinking I can't do anything, so I didn't do anything. But forcing myself to valet cars all day increased my energy, right? Would you believe it? But if I'd have believed and thought that I was never going to be able to be physical again, I would have lived it. So yeah, then towards the start of this year, I started chasing money again, because I had some thoughts about increasing my income. I decided to get a job in DPD, delivery, because I heard there was some good money in it. And it was good money, but wow. Respect to anyone who does that, but I could not cope. The stress, the getting angry on the road, surrounded by people also getting angry on the road and being like, feeling the old me creep back. So 4 or 5 months into that, I come out worse than I started. I spent all my savings and made some silly decisions because I was using this. The day that I quit, I felt every cell in my body telling me not to go in. Every cell in my body. I still went, got halfway, forgot my phone. Come back to get the phone. My body's like, no, do not go. Just stay here. I went, had one walk around the depot, couldn't find my parcels. Done. I am done with this shit. As I drove out, I felt like God had returned to me and said, now you're listening. That's what I felt. I wouldn't say I heard it, like I felt it. I felt it being said to me. Now you're listening. Now you're leaning in me. So what I'm trying to say is to lean into God is to go and do the thing you know right to be done, Even though everything in your head, all your thoughts are saying that this is scary and this might not be the right thing to do. So I'm just following the feeling. I'm following the feeling. There's so much uncertainty in my life at the minute, financially, just with everything. And before that would shake me. It would like shake my whole foundation. And now I just trust that no matter how little I have, I will always have enough. And that's what the principle of the Bible is, really. The New Testament, Jesus tells his followers to go forth into the lands and, go and spread the good news, the message. Don't take with you an extra cloak. Don't take food. Don't take water. It's like he's teaching them to rely on God, to trust that God will always, as long as you live in a righteous way, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So I'm just letting go. I'm letting go of the need, my thoughts and needs to be rich, to be successful. I'm letting go of the fear of the future, and I'm just leaning into it, and I'm following this feeling. I don't always get it right, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So that's what leaning on God is to me. It might go all completely tits. It might all go wrong. I might get to 40 years old, 50 years old, and just be like, well, bugger me. I should have been putting some money away. Bugger me, I should have been chasing this thing, this system. But if it does, I followed what I believe to be true. And I don't think there's many people that can say that these days. We believe something, yet we live in a way that doesn't kind of align with these beliefs. So I would rather die with nothing apart from my belief in God and my belief that I followed what I knew to be true, what my heart knew to be true. So yeah, that's kind of what we was on about. I think we was on about that in the last video and I didn't record it. What else? I'm in a good place at the minute. I'm in a good place. Physically, I'm in a good place. I'm up from just under 11 stone at my illest when I wasn't eating properly. Now I am 12 stone 10. 12 stone 10. And we're making some gains as well. We're bringing it back. I'm feeling good. I'm not trying to force myself to eat protein to gain muscle again. That's just another attachment. I'm just eating whatever I feel right to be. This morning, what did I have? I had some of these bad boys. Pancakes, protein pancakes. I didn't buy them because there was protein. There was just, I think there was the lowest of salt. There's like a gram of salt in 2 pancakes of these. Why put so much salt in? So I just picked whatever was like the lowest salt, and the others were like blueberry. I didn't feel blueberry. So banana pancakes. Chopped up a banana, put that on there, and also got one of these. This was for the protein though, just to kind of bump it up a little bit, because I'm not fancying meat today. Yesterday I had a Domino's pizza. Great times. A couple of ciders. That's another thing I would mention in the last video I was talking about is, so at the minute, I've just gone through 2 years of recovery. Now I'm 99.9% recovered. I'm feeling good. Through that recovery, I learned that I learned to relax. I had to drink to keep this sane. There was times where I would find myself masturbating to porn and just stuff like that, which helped at the time. It helped just to get rid of some energy and to get rid of some and just to be... There were times where I would overeat and indulge, and it was all necessary for recovery. Now I'm at a place where I am feeling to rein it all back in, to pull it all back together. I'm going no fap, semen retention for a period of time. I've got a goal in mind, and rather than before I was like letting myself be a bit flexible, there's no flexibility anymore. I have a set amount of days to achieve, and every time I think a thought or feel a certain sexual feeling, or I see a little bit of something that's like, ooh, I just remind myself of the days left. That's it. I just remind myself of the number. And I say it until the thought goes away. Alcohol, it was creeping in every other day. Nope, not liking this. So now it's 1 day a week, 1 drinking day a week. I'm not really strict about the drinks. My goal is to eventually get it back to 1 or 2. I had 2 yesterday, that was it. So, and when I'm going out for socials midweek or outside of that drinking day, I'm just having alcohol free, or I'm having soda and lime. I had my first successful non-alcoholic social event at a brewery, at a goddamn brewery, on Thursday, and I was buzzing. I felt so accomplished, and I was so pleased with myself because I've overcome that need and that necessity to drink, to be around people. And once you've done it once, boom, it was like, oh, I enjoy myself. Cool, let's go again. So yeah, I'm feeling like I want to get stuck in again. I want to get stuck in. I want to get stuck into something. I want challenges. I've started walking long distances without my phone. I've started running again. Hit a 5 kilometre off the bat after not being able to run, apart from slight intervals, for a few years. I'm challenging myself, and it feels good. It feels good. We as men, and as probably as women, I don't know what it's like to be a woman, so I can only speak from the experience of being a man. But as a man, I need challenges, and we need challenges. We need to be challenged. We need to get outside the comfort zone. I think there's seasons as well. There's seasons for everything. There's a season to be comfortable. There's a season to be vulnerable. There's a season to fall into temptations and weaknesses. But it's making sure that when that season is over, that you quick time exit that season. Take what you need from that season. Learn the lessons you needed to learn from that season. And move into the season of, I'm going to use the word growth, but I don't like that word. Because it's like, growth? What are we growing? Who are we becoming? Why can't we just be? But it's a season of self-mastery. I like that word, self-mastery. Yeah. And that's where we're at. And that's where we're staying. In a good place. I'm no longer scared. I'm no longer worried. I'm learning to just relax into it. So that's where we're at. And I think that's all we've got to say for now. But yeah, tune in. Stay tuned in. And probably going to make this a regular thing. Every time I have a couple of thoughts that I want to share, some feelings I want to share, more importantly, So yeah, guys, that's all for now. Peace be with you. Peace be upon you. Peace be in you.